Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. In this video for the RadioMaster Boxer, I'm going to discuss global variables and flight modes. Now flight modes can be used to show on the screen of your radio what flight mode you're in. So if you were using a fixed wing, you could say it was armed or disarmed, and then if it was in stabilized mode or non-stabilized mode. With a drone, you could show that it's in acro or it's in horizon mode, and you can show whether it's disarmed as well. But also with regard to global variables, now we can use global variables. So we set up a global variable. So for instance, say for the expo at 25%. Now we can then, when we set up the expo for our ailerons, rudder and elevator, all we have to do is pick that global variable number 1. Now if we decide to change that at the field, we just go into the global variables, change it there, and it will change it across all the global variables on our radio. So it's very useful a tool to know how to do this. So let's switch over to the radio and have a look at this. Now the first one I'm going to look at is with regard to a drone. You can see there on the screen it's showing disarmed. Now if I arm, it's showing I'm in acro mode. So if I go down and I'm in horizon mode. Now if I disarm, it will always show disarmed. So the way this has been set up, it will always show you that it's disarmed. So if you see a flight mode in there, you know it's armed. So don't plug your drone in. Just check what's going on. As long as it says disarmed, you're disarmed. So let's have a look at the settings on this one. Now, just out of interest, you wouldn't normally use global variables for a drone because everything is for that is covered within your flight controller and Betaflight. So the global variables would be for fixed wing gliders, etc. So let's take a look at the flight modes on our drone. So we're going to go into our model setup and we're going to go into flight modes, and you can see there, and all you have to do is click on flight mode 1. Now they need to be in this order so it works correctly. If you change the order, it won't necessarily show you the correct flight mode on the front of the screen. I just had to do it in this order to make sure that it works. So flight mode 1 is horizon, and you see there's no switch. Then we go to flight mode 1, it's disarmed, and it's the disabled switch in the disabled position. So, and you can see disarmed. Then the flight mode 2 is angle mode, which is I'll switch in the middle position, and then flight mode 3 is acro, which is the switch back. So let me just go and edit the acro one. You can see I've just named it acro. I've selected the switch, and that is it. Now I'm not going to go into global variables on this one because we wouldn't use them. So that is it. So we can see, as I said, we can see on our screen, if we have a look, we know we're disarmed. Doesn't matter which mode we're in. As soon as we arm, we will see on the screen which mode we're in. So you could just set this up with armed and disarmed if you wanted to, and that would be it. So that's the drone side of it. Let's get on to the where we can use global variables within the fixed wing. So let's switch back to our radio, and we're going to change model. And we're going to go to the fixed wing and select the switch warning. That's because this one, and there we go. Right, now we are going to go across, and you're going to look at the armed and disarmed. Right, so now if we go, so you see flight mode 0 is disarmed, and then armed is the switch forward. So that's quite simple. But if we go into flight mode 0, you're going to see if I go down, I've set up global variables. Now on flight mode 0, you'll see it says it's got global variables own. Now what we can do is, depending on which flight mode we're in, we can set the expo up to a different rate. So if we were in with a glider and we were, I don't know, we wanted to land and we wanted more expo, when we're in land mode, it will have that expo. But if we changed it to a different expo and put it on a different flight mode, just by changing the switch with a drone, where we change from acro to horizon, when we change that, it will automatically change the expo for that type of mode. So that's where it becomes very sophisticated in the way you can use global variables. But let's go back to here. So if we have a look at the screen, you can see global variable 1, I've set it up to 25. Now that's the expo. If we look at G2, it's R1, that's 100%. Now that's going to be used for our dual rates. Then if we go to the next one, you can see global variable 3 I've set up for R2, which is 60%. Now, if you watch my video on programming your radio, I would have gone into this briefly. But now, if we go back out of here and we go to our mixes, now you can see on the screen here, instead of putting the value in, which you can see there is the exposed 25, I've picked up the global variable. So if I edit this, and you can see there also that R1 and R2, which is the weights. So if I click here, now you can see I've clicked the weight as global variable R1, and the expo, I've picked the expo global variable up. Now, you would set that up the same in all of for rudder, elevator, and for ailerons. I've only set it up in one here, but if you now put R1 into the elevator, R1 into the throttle, the rudder, and also the expo you pick up from the global variable. If you want to change that now across all those inputs, you would just go into the global variable and change it from 25 to 30. And that's the power. There's a lot more things you can do with global variables, and I've got a lot more complicated videos that you could go and check in my playlists for. More likely they're going to be in for the OpenTX, but they will be relative to EdgeTX, and they will show you what you can actually do with global variables. Where it comes into its own is where you can just go in and adjust that one figure, and across all your mixes or anything you've used it on, it will automatically adjust it, other than having to go into inputs, go into aileron, go into rudder, go into elevator and change it manually. So I hope that has explained what flight modes are and global variables are. They're very powerful, and they are very useful. Well, I do hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below, because I would love to hear from you. And if you've got something you want to program and you want me to try and work out how to do it for you, please just email me or drop a comment below this video. Thanks for watching. Happy flying. Bye for now.